I'm here with Drunk Sports, your boy Kid Chocolate, getting here and spreading love and knowledge, man, and making awareness for everything that we're doing right here with Drunk Sports. God bless y'all.
God bless. Right? They already lost Canelo, their main guy, right? Their cash cow, so to speak, right? So Ryan seemed to be the heir to the throne. Maybe not the best boxer out of the stable, but definitely the most visible, the one with the most fans, the popular one, the draw, so to speak, right? I'll openly shitting on him like that. You know, when you were watching this, what was your take on that?
Growing pains. And not only that, I think it's appropriate at this point. So you talked about a few things. Let's unpack it a little bit.
Yeah.
He had to force the Tank fight because if they didn't have the confidence in him to begin with, right? Or if they said, no, we're going to slow you down. They was Democrating him. See, a Republican going to let you know where you stand. They're going to let you know you have to go for the gusto. A Democrat going to spoon feed you and tell you how unprivileged you are. So they was Democrating him. And he like, nah, let me fall on my sword as it will. Now, Ryan doesn't get a lot of credit for that because what he did was something similar to what Conor McGregor did. Something similar what Ngannou might have done. You create some fuck you money. So now you say, yo, of course they didn't believe in me and I got this bag. And whether they showed up or not, he learned a lot about himself. You said he liked Derek James. They clicked personality-wise. I'm cool with that because he needs to feel Ryan is temperamental. He needs to feel supported. And that's how you get the best out of him. So when you put his back against the wall and then you kind of let everybody know that you kind of, we'll evaluate him. It's a fair statement, by the way, because what they're saying is a fighter coming off of a loss, we're going to put him in there and see how he does. What they're not saying is, yo, if this motherfucker don't do good as we expect him to do, then we knew he wasn't shit to begin with. So it's that double language, but it's a fair position for the company to take. That's why us blue collar, hard working folks, we say, yo, don't be no fucking company man.
Yeah, facts.
Ain't pay you no extra. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that is the nature of the business. Didn't we see kind of Ellerby and Floyd have some sort of contention, as he was ascending to the point where he is? So as you become the man, hell, let's take it to music. Lil Wayne and Baby had issues, and that's supposed to be his daddy in quotes. Like,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
If you're trying to ascend to a certain level of greatness financially and skill wise, you're gonna ruffle a few feathers, and don't be surprised if they be the same motherfucking feathers on your side. You know what I mean? Q, what you think?
Like, I agree. Like, we're gonna expect that to happen. I guess, like, coming from like the business standpoint of things, I don't think they should have did it in that type of platform. We all know he was gonna be, we all know, and press conferences. You know what I mean? Like that's like the owner of any like a Giants basketball team. Hey, if our next press conference, if Dable and the Giants lose another game, he might be gone next year. We all know what's going to happen, but we don't want to publicly humiliate him because we do know Ryan Garcia is a little softy, bro. He's a little baby. He's still growing, man. Like, he can fight and all that shit. He'll beat the shit out of you, but it's like get beat up by a little dude who just came out of kindergarten. He's like that baby dude who, you know what I mean? He's like the little baby guy that still has some growing to do. He still hasn't matured yet fully in my book, but we all knew he was going to get evaluated, and we all know he doesn't have much left in his contract. I think his contract ends in 2024 because he signed 5 years in 2019, right? So, he's probably going to be like, fuck you too, man. Y'all niggas shitting on me, man. After these couple of next 2 fights, I'm out. He might pull a Canelo and he might win the next couple of fights and then dip out. It's going to be interesting to see how he makes these decisions in his life, especially with his trainer now, and see, because I do see him transitioning into a different boxer. So I wonder if that's going to transition into how his maturity is going to be on his personal and business side of things as well.
No, let me ask you right quick, Yo, do you think that him drag, I call it, in DC, they say you dragging on him. He was dragging his nuts. Do you think that was a sign of maturity, or do you
I was getting ready to say that
a sign of that fragileness that we know him to be? Do you think it was strength, or do we think it was him cracking a bit? What you think?
I think it was a little bit of maturity, man. You know what I mean? Like it's good to see him be that, like, because for him to be that type of person, which he's normally not, it's showing that he's growing. Whether or not, you know, it's going to be in a way we like him and see him grow, but something's changing and something clicked, and you know, and he has to give thanks to Gervonta Davis and losing that fight, because now it's all clicking. And if that fight doesn't happen, it was going to probably end up happening 2-3 fights down the road, and probably would have been even worse, to be honest. You know.
You know, the maturity, I'm glad you guys brought that up, because I was getting ready to say that. And there's a couple of points I want to make. One, Ryan has, if you follow Ryan's career from a while now, he's matured immensely, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He used to be this little arrogant kid, you know, like we all were when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, people think he's good looking, so he had that going for him. He was arrogant. When I first, he minded me a little bit of
shit.
He didn't even have to change back then. He was just like, he had this arrogant aura about him. He thought he was God's gift to whatever. Kind of reminds me of AB a little bit. Not as bad as AB. AB, you know, was really out of control. Even though I love AB, but I think he's immense. He always praises God now. You could just see he's a little bit older now. He's been around the business a little bit, you know, a little bit of time now. He kind of understands it. What you're saying is, do we think that the lashing out at Golden Boy was a sign of maturity? I think absolutely. And I think I don't like the way they did it in that forum. And I kind of blame a little. I'm more on Ryan's side than I am on Oscar's and Bernard, only to the fact that if you're a fighter looking to sign with Golden Boy, right? I'm saying to myself, yo, this guy just threw their main fucking breadwinner under the bus in front of the whole world. In a week, he's going into a big rebound fight, right? I'm looking at that kind of sideways, like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna trust these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit seems kind of fishy to me, right?
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Real quick. Yeah. And guess who's the king of the Matruskis? Arnold Barbosa. Because first thing he do, I got him.
I hand the light work, Bernard. I heard him say that slick shit.
Yeah. They're gonna fuck around and put him in the dress. He the king of the Matruskis, man. Looking like Joey Chestnut at the fucking hot dog contest.
Yeah. And they seem like the whole fight week, it seemed like, you know, they didn't say it, but the energy felt like obviously I felt like they wanted Duarte to maybe slap this kid and teach him a little lesson. I can't say that for sure. He is that cash cow, but they're probably thinking if he's gonna walk out the door, fuck it, let's send him out with an L. What? And Barbosa's running around. He's calling TOI. He's calling these people out. I would like to see that fight. I probably want to see the Rolly fight before that, and there's a couple other fights I might want to see first. But let's get actually into the meat and potatoes of the fight. Right?
Let's go.
I will say this. I was like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Lupe walked him out to superstar. I was like, this is gonna be a night. Kind of like I knew, and this is crazy. This has nothing to do with the technical sweet science of boxing. When Eminem popped out on Terrence Crawford walkout, I was like, oh, Spencer's done. It's just a feeling I had. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with it, but I just felt the energy. So that was dope. I was like, okay, he coming out with Lupe. That's a good look. You know what I mean? He understands the moment. He understands what this is, right? I felt Ryan had a little bit of nervous energy when he first got into the ring. Like you said, like you had stated, I mean, he is a pressure fighter. He is a puncher. He's gonna stay on you the whole fight. All 12 rounds, he's gonna come forward. That's mentally and physically exhausting. So I was like, I think Ryan's gonna. I thought Ryan was gonna wash him, but I did have my doubts. Listen, Ryan is real fast. He started out working the jab. You can see him and Derek James was working on that jab. That really wasn't in Ryan's tool bag. He did abandon it at certain points, but I'm watching Ryan in those first couple of rounds, and I'm saying to myself, yo, this kid has all the fucking tools in the world to be a world-class fucking guy. Fast twitch, the speed, the power, the elusiveness, the counter punching, the timing, the accuracy. He has a good chin. All shit you can't teach, right? You can't teach that type of shit. Skill-wise, right?
Real quick, what I noticed with the jab, he was contemplating whether or not, because he was throwing it not even traditional. He was kind of slapping it like, Briggs would say, he was like pimping it, like slapping it. But he was also trying to figure out whether he was going to check hook him.
Yeah.
So he was am I going to jab this dude or am I just going to check hook him? So he was in between thoughts about it. You know what I mean? But I want to cut you off.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see him thinking in there. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And credit to Derek James and credit to Ryan for being coachable. You know what I'm saying? You can see the development, right? But I do want to say this.
Yeah.
Yo, Q, what you think about, you know what I'm saying? I call it the West Covina shell. Here you go. I call it the West Covina shell. I don't know if he learned that from the great Sergio Moro, right? Or is that the silly shell, as they've been calling it on Twitter?
That was the James Toney shell right there. That wasn't the Floyd shell. I don't know. I'm not sure what that was, but
that was the Tony shell. That shit. It was more like pause. Like, it was a domestic violence shell. It was like, you know, hitting you, and you're like, yo, chill, yo. You don't want to hit her back, so you're like, chill. It was like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, shorty, chill. Like, shorty, chill. It really wasn't, you know, eloquent or athletic. You know what I mean? It was more like,